Hello, can you hear me? Microphone check 1 2 1 2. Hello, and welcome to Atomic Movie Reviews Film Society. I'm your host, Atomicon Rex. Here we discuss films that have a narrative background and aliens, ghosts, robots, and monsters. So without further ado, let's just jump into it. All right, today we went to go see the movie Sinners Friday night, me and the crew. It came out 2025. The director was Ryan Coogler, and the lead actor is Michael B. Jordan. It's actually what I noticed. There's a lot of because the white girl, the damsel in distress. We'll talk about her later. She's actually a Hawkeye. Okay, so when you look at the characters in this show, it's actually there's like three characters from the MCU. Um, okay, so I just want to just throw that out there. Okay, anyway, so what are the narrative? What are some of the narrative and plot predictions? I had an idea that the music summons vampires, and where I got that from the movie Hellraiser, and just being part of the UFO community and talking about it, I came to the conclusion that you might have to summon these dark forces and hidden societies, right? And so that was my plot prediction going into the movie. I figured that the music summoned the vampire. Okay, that was my plot prediction. What was the genre? I will put this in the horror category. It's it's a gangster flick that turns into a horror. So it does a genre flip. It starts off as a gangster flick, a drama, and then it turns into a horror. Cinematography, it's live action. It's a original work. It's an original script. I believe that he wrote this and produced it himself. Set design. The effects are everything is practical, except for when you get too much vampire, like when they burst into flames and stuff like that. But everything pretty much looked pretty practical. What? Okay, plot conventions. What plot conventions or TV tropes that I noticed in the film? Um, I just touched on the fact that it was a gangster flick, huh? Yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna define that. I'm just gonna go with what was that movie? Dawn of the Dead? Wait, no, I don't think it was Dawn of the Dead. It was what was that vampire movie? Dawn of something. Days till dawn or Dusk till dawn. Okay, it's basically a Dusk till dawn movie set in rural 1930s Mississippi. That's basically what we got going on here. Characters. So I'm just gonna kind of try to blow through this. I don't want to give too much away. I think the movie is worth seeing in the theater. Excuse me, sorry. So Hero and Stack, they're the two twin brothers. They're gangsters. They're trying to open up a juke club, a music club for the rural people in the rural South. The villain, his name is Remick. He's like this Irish. He's an Irish vampire. I kind of like the way they kind of switch the vampire role. So usually when I was going in with the movie, I assumed that the vampires were going to be the white racist people. Okay, they flipped it on us on this one, right? So the vampire isn't a racist person. He's actually the opposite. And so that was kind of unique. It gave the vampire like layers to him. Like this vampire is very religious and he's trying to start a religious. I mean, I guess all vampires are trying to do that. A coven or coven, whatever it is. But he's trying to start a religious community and he's like anti-racist. I just thought it was a unique play because even when they come across the clan, the vampire come across the clan, right? He doesn't um, take on the white racist um, identity to appeal to them. He still sticks to his Irish immigrant, um, his roots, and I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, so the sidekick, I'm gonna give it to Sammy. Even though the movie kind of revolves around him, there are two types of magical beings in this movie. You have I would call a crypto terrestrial, which is the vampire. He's a hidden supernatural being. He doesn't walk in daylight, like he's not out in the open. And then you have a temporal terrestrial being in the form of Sammy. And his gift was he's like a mutant, right? So he starts singing and everything, and he literally brings people in from other time zones into his dance floor. So like in the movie, it's it's cast off. You can see it as a metaphor as he's really just jamming, but the vampire sees him as actually physically bringing people from another time into his song and dance. And so that's what attracts the vampire. It's his magical time traveling ability. That's what attracts the supernatural vampire. You got the damsel in distress. You got the white girl. I'm just gonna call her Hawkeye. She was really good in this movie. She's part of the reason why I went to go see it. I didn't know she was Hawkeye though. I did not make that connection. And I think B1213 and Loki or whatever is the black witch girl, the voodoo girl. I didn't snap to that either. But now that I know, you know. Okay, so moving on to the weapons. Weapons are pretty much standard vampire lore. Garlic, um, garlic cloves, silver guns, wooden stakes. I like the way they used it differently in this one. They had a moment where it was kind of reminded me of the movie Thing, where they got to make sure that the people who are left in the room aren't vampires, right? So everybody gets to eat like a clove of garlic, and you can just imagine what that tastes like. But I was also thinking that when I make a vampire movie, okay, one of the things I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make one of my characters eat garlic, okay, and that's going to be the thing that repels them. You know what I mean? Like they eat garlic, now the garlic's in their blood, and so when the vampire goes to bite them, like they can't bite them because the garlic's in the blood. That's why I thought they were eating the garlic. Just to throw that out. That's why I thought they were eating the garlic. But I can't. But that wasn't the reason why they were eating the garlic. It was to see who was a vampire and who wasn't. Okay, mode of transportation. They basically have your old time Ford, 1930s Ford Model T cars. It's old 1930s. Locale 1930s Mississippi. Number 8, acting. Did the actors seem they everybody seemed believable. Like this is an awesome movie. Like the actors did their 100% best, and I liked it because it was really American, in a sense that I don't think Mexican culture was really depicted, but you had Native Americans, you had blacks and whites, you had Asians. Actually, during the dance scene, I should take that back. I might have to reanalyze that. He might have put every culture in there. Actually, thinking about it now. Um. Okay, moving on. What was the cultural impact of the movie? Did it break any new ground? What did I put there? This movie, it gave me Disney music vibes, and I kind of liked it. I like the song and dance. Okay, and what I mean by Disney music vibes is that when the main song comes, when the song that everybody's gonna be talking about, I'm gonna call it what did I call it earlier? The multiverse dance floor. When that pops off, that hits, right? But then the villain has a dance number, right? Just like Disney. So like in a Disney movie, you have the good guys and they'll do the little romance love number, and then we'll go to the villain and he'll do his little number. Well, they did that in this movie, and I swear, man, like that leprechaun shit, that shit was popping. I loved it. Oh, I loved it. I loved that. Um, okay, we're moving on. Um, oh, and another thing I wanted to talk about the vampire that I actually skipped was actually in the notes, actually in the wrong place, is that they had a hive mind, right? So what happened to one vampire, all the vampires knew. Okay, and I don't think that's kind of depicted in all the other movies, but not really. It's usually like the Dracula or the king vampire is the one controlling the hive mind, right? So he can see what all the other vampires are doing. With this one, the vampires just all share one hive mind. So one vampire gets hit, or the main vampire gets hit, they all are affected. I kind of like that. Okay, well, summing it up, is it a good? Is it what is the? Is it worthy for the theater? I think so. I think it's worthy to buy Blu-ray. I think this was a really really good movie. So summary and recommendations. The movie's called Sinners. Came out in 2025. Directed by Ryan Coogler and lead actor is Michael B. Jordan. It's a Dusk Till Dawn remake or knockoff, whatever you want to call it. Um, and Atomicon does recommend you see this bad boy. Talk to you guys later. Bye bye.